go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, happy Saturday. It is July the 13th. It's not a Friday 13th. It's Saturday the 13th. And we are here, Coach
Chris, that's me.
And Coach Tenisha.
That's her.
And we're here to help you to build the marriage of
Pump
your
up
dreams.
your life.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to.
He's tired today, y'all.
Pump it up. Let's get it going. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. He's pumped. You have to be pumped like that for your marriage.
Yes.
You have to be intentional about doing the things that are going to help you create the marriage of your dreams.
Yes.
And you really can have it. Right?
You can. You can have, the only thing you have to do is build it.
Yes.
Yes.
Just build it, build it, build it, build it, build it. I'm excited today because we're going to be talking about how couples work through disappointment. And I'm excited because this topic has come from one of our members in Strong Marriage on our private Facebook support group. So we are excited to bring to you these strategies and tools to help you to work through disappointment. And I'm extra excited because the Leadership Guru has a toolkit that's going to help you implement the tools and strategies that we talk about today.
Everything's a process.
Everything's a process.
Everything's a process.
All righty. So welcome to Facebook. Welcome to
Instagram.
YouTube. Welcome to Instagram. Hey, Instagram, what's up? What's up? And we're all excited for you to be here with us live and on the replay.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into it. It is 1 p.m. Pacific and we're ready. So,
hi. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Disappointment is a natural occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
It is inevitable.
Yes.
There are going to be disappointments as a natural course of your relationships. So you shouldn't, what is it, that phrase? Get your panties in a bunch?
Don't get your panties in a bunch.
Yes. You shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't
and if you
feel
don't wear panties, don't let your pants catch your zipper as you're coming.
Something about a zipper and all that. Please wear undergarments.
Don't let it get caught. Keep it calm. Keep it easy.
Working through disappointment requires effort, understanding, and commitment.
Communication.
Yes. That's my favorite. Yes. Effective communication. And that is the first strategy. That's always a strategy. Mm-hmm. If you can effectively communicate, if you can voice your feelings about a particular incident in the correct way, with the proper tone, with respect for your spouse, then you can navigate through anything.
Proper tone is so important because, like I always say, it's not the fact that my mother was telling me wrong when I was growing up. It's the tone that she had when she said it.
Yes.
And I did not like that tone, so I wanted to fight against it. So your wife, your husband's going to be the same way. They're going to say something. The tone may not be correct, but the words that he's saying, probably are.
So let's give grace. That's a good one too.
Yeah, give grace.
That's a bonus one. Write that down. Yes. Grace. Grace. Just like Jesus gives you grace because you mess up, you irritate people, you have a misstep, and God gives you grace. So that's the same grace that you are to extend to others, especially your partner.
Okay.
So the bonus number 0 is grace. And then number 1 is to communicate openly, or what I call effectively.
Share your feelings and thoughts.
Honestly, without blaming or criticizing.
And of course, when it says share your feelings or share your thoughts openly, that means not harshly, or don't try to use it as a weapon. Because sometimes you can be communicating, I always tell the truth. Telling the truth is good, but don't use it as a weapon to belittle the person or to make yourself seem more than what you are.
Right.
Like they would say, sedity. Don't make it seem like you're sedity.
Because we're on the same team.
We're on the same team.
So, you don't want LeBron and who else is on this team? Bronny, his son. No, you don't want
somebody
those
that
two.
Plays. Let's go with LeBron and AD.
LeBron and AD. If they're on the court and they're trying to figure out who's getting the ball, and they started an argument. I mean, it looks silly, right?
Yes.
Aren't all of us who are Lakers fans upset because they're wasting time and
Mhm.
energy on themselves rather
Right.
than the opposite team?
Right.
That's what you look like when you go against your spouse.
That's very good.
Yes.
I like that.
Mm-hmm,
So let's come up with using the I statements to express.
Yes. You want to use I statements, and that's going to help you to keep on focus.
Mhm.
It's going to help you to make sure that you're not blaming or criticizing or, making your partner defensive. So here's an example.
So it's your personal emotions that you're doing the I statement, or what are you doing with the I statement? The I statement is your personal emotions and how you feel.
It's how you felt in a particular situation and what you needed, what need was not met, and then I'm going all into the
other parts.
the sandwich method.
So give me an example then. Let's go with an example.
So I'm disappointed because we're supposed to meet up at a restaurant for lunch at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting at the table and it's now 12:15 and I feel embarrassed because you're not there. I get a text and it says, "Oh, I can't come, sorry about that." And I'm embarrassed because I'm sitting in the restaurant alone and everybody kind of knew, or in my mind, I thought everybody knew that I was meeting you. But it is obvious that I've been stood up.
Mm.
So I'm disappointed. So when I get home, I wouldn't call on the phone and blah, 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 or have a text war, but I would get home, and after I have determined that it is a proper time to discuss this situation.
So don't go in hot.
No, you can't go in hot. You have to get yourself together first.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would say, I felt embarrassed when I was left in the restaurant at noon today, and I didn't know we were not going to be meeting until 15 minutes later. So I felt embarrassed. I needed to have that information about what was holding you up before noon and not afternoon.
So what I'm hearing is that you felt embarrassed because I didn't let you know before that time that I wasn't going to be there.
Right.
That I should have let you know a little bit earlier than that, so then you could have made arrangements and not gone, or at least not been expecting me.
Right.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So that was a real quick example of a bunch of them. First of all, the I statements, and second of all, that was the beginning of the fishbowl method, where he was reinstating or regurgitating what he heard me say. And then he asked, did I get it right? And once I gave him the okay, yes, you did get it right, we're now on the same page. We understand where I was in a situation. With the fishbowl method, you would continue on to hear his response, and so that I can get on the page that he was on to see what happened and to put my feet in his shoes.
So this is going to be sort of what you would call one of our toolkits that we have. So it'll be a communication worksheet, which you write down your feelings using your I statements. And I feel hurt because I feel, and you put it down, and your worksheet prompts would be, I feel blank, and then you put whatever would be there, when, another blank again, and then you say, you put because blank. So I feel hurt when you didn't show up because I was left alone and I felt people were looking at me.
And the great part about writing it down, it helps you to really focus everything on the I statements. Because if I'm just saying it, I'm going to inadvertently say, because you didn't, and it's still defeating the purpose. But if I write it down, then I'm able to see, I said you didn't come here.
But it also helps me.
But instead of me saying you didn't come here, I would say when I was left at the restaurant, without knowing that you left at the restaurant without you can figure out some kind of way to leave you out of it, so that you are now thinking about, oh, what was she feeling, instead of, did she just say that I did this?
Right.
Because that's the point. The thing we're trying to avoid is you did that.
Right.
Because you did it, I felt this way.
Right.
And we don't want that.
And that's why you have to write it down. That's why you have the communication worksheet. And that's also why you do the role playing exercises, where you do the empathy, where I put myself in your shoes and I act as if what you did, you take my place, and then I put myself there and like, how would I respond in that same situation?
That's cool. You want to do an example of that?
Well, we don't have a lot of time,
okay. We don't have a lot of time.
But we can. I was left at I feel, okay, so if I'm left at the restaurant and you weren't there and I had them set for 2 people coming, and then, I feel a kind of way. And what are you doing? Because you're new, you're supposed to be here with me. And I would be upset. So yes, I think I would be upset about that, because here I am sitting at the restaurant and I ordered food and I'm waiting for you, and tip 12:15, you still haven't called me, and why? You knew you weren't going to be there. You should at least call. Right. So yes, I understand that. That I can actually deal with, and I see how you would feel.
That was good. And that was an example of role playing.
And your first toolkit in communication.
That's your first toolkit in communication. Yay. So what is number 2? To listen actively. And that goes along with number 1, but it is so important that we want to pull it out of that and highlight it. Because when you are actively listening, you are listening with your heart to understand, to use that empathy, to be able to take time to use the toolkit that we're providing. So when you're actively listening, you can even say, okay, hold on, let me get some, if you need to write down bullet points of what's being said, like you're in the class, do that. Let your partner know that this is important. What you're saying matters, and I need to get this down. I need to make sure that I'm taking notes for myself so that I understand how to handle this the next time it comes around, because we don't want to repeat the same disappointments, the same hurt.
Right.
Pay attention to your partner's perspective without interrupting. That is important. You don't want to interrupt, but you do want to show empathy and understanding by acknowledging and validating their feelings. Because that may not be you, and you may feel like that's stupid. Please do not say that's stupid. Don't say because you don't feel that way that it isn't valid. Your partner feels that way, so therefore it is valid.
Right. So that comes up to one of our next toolkits, which of course is a listening checklist, which means you focus on maintaining eye contact when you're talking to the person. Don't look up. I know sometimes people have a tendency to, when they're talking, to look up or look other places, but when you do that, the person feels that you're trying to come up with a story or that you're lying. So when you look away and you're trying to talk to the person, they think you're trying to make up something, or you're trying to come up because you can't look at them in the eye. So always make eye contact when you're talking to the person, or even when you're listening, because it also means that you're paying attention to them. Nodding, and then summarizing what your partner says. So if you're talking, I should be listening to you, and I should be nodding my head so that the person knows that you're actually listening to them and you understand. If I don't understand, then I'll shake my head no or yes, and be like, but the gestures make a difference. That's it. That's all I want to say.
Oh, is it?
That was it. That was the whole thing. It is listening checklist, and you just make sure eye contact, verbal movement, as a response, and active listening.
Got it. Active listening, letting your partner know that what they are saying is valid and important to you.
And the way they know you're active listening is by summarizing what they said, just like we talked about earlier with communication, summarizing what the person said, and then they will validate what you said as what they said.
That's good. I like when you say, so I heard you say, or what I heard was.
Right.
So that we can both get on the same page.
And of course, it's all with empathy, because everything you do is going to be with empathy, not sympathy, because empathy means that you are If you're in the hole, I'm in the hole with you, and we
Right.
both experience the same thing.
Mhm.
Sympathy means that I see you're in the hole, but I'm not
Sorry
up
for
in that hole.
you.
I'm sorry you up in there, but it's not me.
Right,
But we want this to be both of us
right.
during that time.
That's what makes the union of marriage
Yes.
the strongest and the most
Mhm.
important, because you're supposed to use that empathy and you be there together.
Right. Now, remember, when you're doing this and you are empathizing with the person, we're also not going to enable. So although you're empathizing, you still keep that sympathize or that ladder up so you can climb up out, separate yourself from this issue that's going on, and help that person out of the hole that they're in.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Number three, identify the root cause.
Identify the root cause.
Yes, you have to know how did this thing happen? Let's get to the root so that we can effectively solve this. We can not only reconcile, but make sure that this doesn't happen again. We want to get some resolution. Determine the underlying issue causing the disappointment.
Yes.
This might involve discussing unmet expectations, misunderstandings,
and
external stressors.
Woo!
Okay, those external stressors will get you.
Yeah, so this is part of our next one, which is the root cause analysis worksheet. And it sounds so root cause analysis worksheet.
That's the leadership guru in him.
We're going to do the RCAW today. What is the root cause analysis of this problem? So when you're at work and doing leadership, you have to know what the root cause analysis is. So what you're going to do, same thing in the relationship, relationship, the same exact things. So you're going to list all your potential causes and discuss each one and how it relates. That way you'll find out what that stressor is.
Right.
Is it the kids? Is it the kids causing the stressor? Is it that you don't feel that you have enough time? Is that the stressor? Is it money? Is it financials that's the stressor? Is it both those things the stressor? Is it the fact that I don't spend enough time with you? Or is it the quality time that we don't spend together? You have to figure out what those stresses are. And so you have to write it down to figure out exactly what the root cause of the issue is.
That's good. This is where I think journaling is good, where it can come in and help you to brainstorm on paper in case you don't have the time to brainstorm together, or maybe it's a little awkward at the moment, or maybe you haven't gotten yourself under control. Maybe you haven't gotten your emotions in check, and you know that at this moment it is not the appropriate time for you to have a discussion because you are hot. If you are on 10, do not have a discussion. That's not the time to have a discussion.
No, you calm yourself down. You don't write a letter. You don't send an email. You don't send anything. You are hot. You wait, let it calm down, and discuss it later.
Yeah, you can journal. You can talk to the Lord.
Don't be cooking my food though.
Oh my!
Don't make food come out all stank and
Oh my gosh. Number four. Set realistic expectations. Realistic. Give us some examples of realistic expectations in marriage, babe.
Realistic expectations. Within the first year, we're going to be debt-free. Realistic expectations, we're going to go traveling every single month. Realistic expectations, these are unrealistic.
Yeah, those are unrealistic.
That we're going to go out on a date every single week. We're going to be able to talk to each other every time. We're going to, what else we're going to do?
Oh, we're just going to understand each other because we're in love.
Oh yeah, we're
unrealistic.
And we're going to have sex every single day.
What we did early on.
Right.
Okay. Yes. All the time we're going to have sex.
Yes. But you do have to, things don't happen the way you plan them out to be.
Yeah.
You have to have realistic expectations, set goals, have a vision of what you want to get to, but it takes steps. Everything takes steps. Nothing is overnight.
Right. So if some of those things we mentioned, you were like, well, how come it can't be realistic? This is why it's unrealistic, because the only person that can say always or never is God. So you won't always be able to have a date every week, although you can strive for that,
Mm-hmm.
but there has to be a measure of grace in there so that if something comes up, if there's work, if there's kids, if there's finances, something that comes up and messes up your schedule,
Got to figure out something.
then you get rid of that disappointment by understanding we're having grace. We were not able, because of outside stressors, to have a date this week, but we know that that is our goal.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we desire to do, and we're going to make it next week.
Yeah. So one of the things that we have is going to be an expectation setting worksheet.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you write down your expectations
Mm-hmm.
for the marriage for the first year.
Mm-hmm.
I write down my expectations, and we compare exactly, are our expectations the same?
Right.
And then we can set a goal for that. One of the things that we did, I want to say, was year 7. Year 7.
He said 6. Did y'all hear that?
6, 7. I think it was 7. Well, we have 4 kids by then. Yeah, maybe we had 4 kids. Maybe it was like around 10. But anyway, one of the things that we did was we had to make sure we had our date nights. We had time to be together, but we had 4 kids. So what we ended up doing was when I worked at night, or times when I was worked during the midday and I wouldn't get home till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, we would go out and go to dinner or breakfast at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we've always done that when I worked late. I got off at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We would go to Bossa Nova, we would go to Denny's, we would go to whatever was open at that time,
Mm-hmm.
just so that we could spend time together, have cheesecake, have a coffee, have something so we can have time together to talk.
And someone was watching our kids. We didn't leave them alone.
Yeah, my mom was there.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So we would leave the kids with somebody, and then we would go out and have our date in the middle of the night.
Right.
And that's just something we did. Or sometimes we would go to the hotel room and we'd go have sex in a different place because the kids wake up, say, hey, there's a cat in the house. And then, we did what we had to do. But it's the things that you had to make arrangements for so that you could at least keep some type of semblance of your schedule.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your expectations that you
The
have.
expectations.
But that's why you have to write that worksheet and compare it out.
That worksheet is an excellent tool. I wish we had that. It also will help you to kind of like run a checks and balances for each other.
Mhm.
If something's down there, be like, okay, that's unrealistic for us to do this now,
Mm-hmm.
but we can put it on our goal for our 5-year journey.
Right. Expectations were not met,
Yeah.
but the realistic expectations going forward are going to be. Just like at work, when they set expectations for you, you can say, well, that's not realistic. I'm not going
Right.
to be able to make those type of cuts. I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
This is more realistic of what I can do. And then
Right.
you have a stretch goal of what you think you can possibly reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the super fragilistic goal that, we're going to try for it, but if we don't make it, we understand.
Right. Number 5,
Mhm.
focus on solutions.
Yes.
Remember, when you are communicating effectively,
Mm.
you come with a solution. You don't come to the table with just gripes. The feedback loop,
The feedback loop.
or formerly the complaint counter.
Yes.
When you come to the feedback loop session, you don't come without a solution. You just can't come with the gripes and the complaints. You have to come with the solutions.
Yes.
So you're gonna work together,
Mm-hmm.
say it together,
Together. Mm-hmm.
to find practical solutions. This
Yes.
might involve making changes in behavior,
Mm-hmm.
improving communication,
Mm-hmm.
or seeking external help like coaches.
All right. So also with this, so our toolkit for this one is going to be a brainstorming sheet.
Mhm.
So just a brainstorming sheet where you write down everything, and your prompts could be, what can we do to prevent this issue in the future?
Right.
And you come up with different ideas that you write down exactly what you do in order to prevent things from happening.
Right.
The second part would be an action plan template.
Hmm.
So everything should have some type of action plan to go along with
Right.
a solution. So outline specific steps to implement the chosen solutions.
Mhm.
So remember, everything that we do in your relationship has a process that you want to make sure that you have in place to make sure you protect yourself from any type of, pitfalls.
So let's give them example. Going back to our example of being left at lunch. So if we're using this this tool in order to help us find solutions so that it doesn't happen again, we can say something like the action step would be
check in before, an hour before we meet, to make sure we're both on schedule.
That's good.
What's another action plan?
If
when I leave work.
Yes.
I will text you when I leave work to make sure that you know I'm on my way.
Right.
We could actually, do you want to pre-order our food before we get there so it's ready? We could do that too. What else you want to do? And see how we're talking together. So I come up with my ideas, and then she comes up with her ideas.
Right.
And then we're like, oh, that's a good idea or not a good idea.
So if we already know that this work week has been hectic, we can just say, okay, so we know it's been crazy. Anytime I think something's going to come up to throw me off of this schedule, I'm going to let you know, so that we can play it by ear. That way, if I arrive at noon, I already knew, oh, he may not make it. Then I'm not disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm not hurt. I'm not embarrassed. And if he shows up, I'm super duper excited.
Yes. Yes.
So see how we just eliminated that?
There we go.
Number six, practice patience and forgiveness. Remember, I always say you have to go into your relationship with your mind on forgiving. Whatever happens, I'm going to forgive my spouse so we can move forward. Now, there has to be reconciliation, but before you can even get there, there has to be forgiveness. You have to make a choice when you say I do to forgive.
Right.
Just like God made a choice to forgive you and to have the plan of salvation with Jesus Christ being your sacrifice in order for you to be in right standing with him. He made a choice to forgive.
Right. And so what's our toolkits for this one? This is going to be our patience building exercises. And the other one is going to be our forgiveness journal.
Okay.
Because you love the journal.
I love the journal.
And you say you work with a forgiveness journal. So a forgiveness journal is going to write about the incidents, the things that you have to get over. That's where you can
gripe and complain and say all your stuff.
So remember, we don't do gripe and complain. We do delta and we do all the positives, the things that the person can work on.
I mean, we have to get there. It's a process.
Yeah, it's a process, but we're not going to talk in the negative. We're only going to talk in the things that the person can actually do better.
Yes.
You have the potential to do this. So I was mad because he left me, I said, and didn't show up on time. What's the positive on that?
The positive is I know he's okay and he still loves me. It's just a schedule.
And the opportunity is that we can get next time we can do better and show up on time, or we can make sure we do, but do it in the positive, not the negative.
Yes.
So the other thing that we can do, of course, is the process of forgiving. Write about the incidents and the process of forgiving. So a journal prompt for that is going to be what happened, how did it make me feel, once again, and then why is the forgiveness important related to that?
Right. To focus your mind on forgiving, to help you go through that process that you need to go through in order to forgive, so that the disappointment is reconciled.
Right. Because we always want to focus on the positive, because if you always focus on the negative or what the person did that made you so upset and you keep focusing on that, it's hard for you to forgive because you're always focusing on that negative part, not on the positive things that they can do.
That's right. That's right. Number 7.
Now, we're on number 7 to get to 10, and it's 27.
Okay.
Shall we?
We're gonna bust through them real quick. We're gonna bust through.
Or hear me
out.
We can get this one part and do this as a 2-part series or a 3-part series, and then we can go on to the rest of them. And then the next time, what we can do is we can have a checklist in place that they'll be able to download at the next one that we have. And then they'll have their own toolkit that they can use, or at least an outline that they can use. And then when they come to the marriage conference that's going to be coming up, then they can use it at the marriage conference, and we'll have a little section and we can teach about it. That means I'm writing this out and then doing digital content for it.
He's so generous. You guys better hop on the wagon, okay? Because bro has helping you out.
Yes.
Because I was about to run through them. And
Yes. But these are
begin.
important for you to know and have you be able to set up your own toolkits and your own things to have. So next time we come together, we'll have a list of how you can do your own toolkit. And then when we actually have the marriage conference, which is when?
The marriage conference is August 31st.
So August 31st is the marriage conference. Do you want to talk a little bit about the marriage conference now?
Yes, this marriage conference is going to be spectacular. I have my good friends and pastors joining me. We have Pastors James and Carmen Byers Jr.
Fire teachers.
Fire teachers. They teach the word with simplicity.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
Yes, it's going to be good. We also have my favorite certified sexologist and first lady, along with Bishop Carl McKnight, her husband. The McKnights are joining us on this conference.
Good. Very solid.
Very solid. Very solid. I love the way they teach, and their openness and transparency is amazing. It's going to help you. We also have the wonderful Townsell's, Pastor and Mrs. Townsell.
You'll learn a lot from this.
I'll learn a lot. They are the host of the First Comes Love Marriage Retreat.
Very foundational, great retreat.
And they're going to be speaking into your lives. And of course, you have your coaches, your business and leadership, and your marriage coach joining together to help you build the tools that you need to create the marriage of your dreams.
Because you have to have a holistic marriage. So it's not just your relationship that you have there, but it's also your business, your finance. It's everything comes together to give you one full, solid, godly marriage, because everything relates. Because it's not just physical here, but it's spiritual. You got to make sure that you understand that and that you do it all together. So the marriage conference is when? It is August 31st, 2024. And you have already missed the free ticket round. Tickets are now $20, just $20. It is a virtual conference, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. So how long is the conference? It'll be a 4-hour? The conference is from 10 a.m. Pacific to 2:30 p.m. Not too long, but enough to give you 4 great workshops teaching you how to build a strong, godly marriage. And of course, with our group, when we have our teaching, we will have toolkits that we will have available for everybody when you get there online that you can download, go through the toolkits with us as we teach. And it's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be a wonderful time. Get in early because seats will fill up, and there's only so many that we can actually let in. Because it is online, so it's limited. We want to be capped. So once it hits, I think it's like on Zoom is like 100. So get in early because this will be packed and it's starting to go quick. So just make sure you get your tickets as early as possible. Because ticket prices will increase as the date approaches. So whichever goes first, either the prices will increase or it'll be sold out. One or the other. One or the other. So don't miss the opportunity to get more of this information. This is just 30-minute free stuff. But when you come to a conference, you learn so much more. And the workshops and the speakers are going to just empower you, encourage you, and inspire you to apply these things to your relationships. So get your tickets today. Make sure we put links in the comment sections of all of these platforms. And remember, next week we'll have a toolkit for you for communication. So you'll have that so you can download it and have it. And we're trying to give you as many free toolkits to help your relationship get better. And therefore you can help your own friends get better. And then one day you'll be able to be a relationship coach too and help your friends or people in your church, like Fiotis will be doing next year at his church. And I just called you out, Fiotis, because you will be a teacher and you will be doing marriage coaching at your own church, because that's what you and your wife have been called to do, because you raise your family that way. All right. Well, thank you for joining us again. We'll see you next Saturday. Next Saturday. Oh, we done moved. We're moved now. We're no longer in Fremont, we're now down in Los Angeles, California. And our office is in Calabasas. So, hey, anytime you're around, just give us a call. And we can sit down and have a discussion. All right. So we'll see you guys for part 2 next Saturday.
Now go take on the day.
Oh, strong marriage. Say it, say it, say it, say it.
You really can have the marriage of your dreams. You just have to build it.
I'll take on the day.
Bye. Now let's turn off all our streams.